We don't have updates, we have guests. It's my privilege to welcome the founders of the Speed Puzzle World Series, Mel Townsend and Louise Jackett. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Adam. It's great to be here.
This is very exciting. Once this is posted, it will be hours, maybe a day, couple days before this event kicks off. This is kind of the last time that we might hear from you on a platform like this, unless you post something as well. But we're going to go into these last few days, what people can expect, and all these other things that are kind of it must be crazy for you in these last few weeks, I'm guessing, right?
That's a pretty good guess. Yes. But good crazy. Yeah.
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 We'll start with you, Lou. Welcome. It's nice to speak with you for the first time. We've known about Mel's role in the Speed Puzzle World Series for a little bit longer, but you've obviously been heavily involved with this as well. Just because you've not made an appearance on here before, how did you become involved in the Speed Puzzle World Series?
Yeah, so I'm also the president of the Australian Jigsaw Puzzle Association. So that's how Mel and I met through the AJPA. And we've been working really closely together for about a year now on our local, state, and national events. So we had a lot of experience working together, and we've realized we bring a really complementary sort of mindset and approach to speed puzzling events. Mel, obviously being such a champion puzzler and a previous national champion of ours, is an amazing puzzler in her own right. And of course, known very well through the Aussie All Stars. And I kind of bring a more sort of, I suppose, the admin side, which is I've really developed, like really exercised that muscle through the AJPA role. And prior to being the president, I had a bit of experience running my own jigsaw puzzle competitions close to where I live for charity events. And then, yeah, quite a lot of experience volunteering for several years, right from the inception of speed puzzling in Australia around COVID times. So that's kind of where we got to. And Mel and I really had a lot of time thinking about the ultimate speed puzzling event and workshopping ideas and throwing those kind of, what if we could just sort of redesign and like reset the rules? So we had lots of those kind of cool conversations. And it's really from those conversations that the World Series was born. And certainly a lot of these ideas primarily are Mel's, coming from the point of view of what it's like to be a champion puzzler. And yeah, I'm just delighted that we've been able to, yeah, explore this together and get to where we currently are.
Yeah, I think every event, when it's run properly, you have multiple people, but they're complementary to each other because you need to see things from both sides. When it's only one person, or one dominant person, I guess, then it might not turn out great if their vision isn't accurate. You need those balances in there. And Mel, welcome back to this channel. You were the first two-time guest on here, which I didn't think someone from Australia would be the first two-time guest. I thought for sure it would have been a Canadian, but Australia is just Canada in the south, essentially, and we're the Australia in the north. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
we last spoke in 2025. It was actually last year we spoke. The
Wow.
Yeah, Puzzled and Chatty, your episode came out in 2026, but we actually recorded on New Year's Eve, and it's one of the more watched videos on this channel. So thank you for that. Helped me with my views. It seems like ages ago, but it also feels like it's been super recent as well, just because so much has happened. How have the last 4 months been for you?
Um, Hectic, but also like rewarding. So like it's definitely been I guess Lou and I can both speak to this. We've learnt a lot, which as I mentioned in that video that I did with you, the Puzzled and Chatty, like that was the whole point, is to just pick a date kind of early on in the year, comparatively to when we launched tickets in January for an event in May. which we started planning in like October, November. So it's with a short time frame, we've had to learn stuff really, really quickly because the deadline's kind of coming up. So yeah, it has been busy. It has been really, really like challenging at times, but it's also been incredibly rewarding. And yeah, like our personal growth in this space has just been astronomical. So yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine something on this scale what it's taking to do. And again, just to remind everyone, the two of you are in Australia and the event's being hosted in Germany. And just that aspect, if that was the only thing that you were doing, say you were just trying to book a room, or just to do a basic event, that would be enough. But now you have stuff, people from all over the world. It's a lot. At the time of the recording, we are just over 2 weeks away from the event starting. Would you say you're more excited, nervous, busy, a combination, something else?
Definitely a combination of all of those
Yeah.
things. Yes. Yeah, primarily very excited because it's wonderful to know that everything that we've been working towards is just right around the corner. And then, of course, there's nervousness. We have really high expectations of ourselves, and we know that others will too. So we want to make sure that we meet those expectations, and we're very confident that we will. And then, yeah, there's just a lot of busyness. So, a lot to organize. We've got very comprehensive to-do lists. Mel and I are just in constant communication. It's a fantastic partnership like that. We really understand the domains that we're covering. We're really doing, so much when it comes to holistically managing this event, thinking about all those touch points, the communication that's going out to our competitors, that sort of broader social media presence so that people feel like they're coming along for the hype. And then, of course, the logistics. And the logistics are definitely a challenge and something that, we're very prepared for based on our experience of managing events around Australia. So that's probably the number one thing that gave us the confidence to be able to do this because it's not unusual for us to have managed an event on the other side of Australia or far north of Australia. Mel and I, even in Australia, we're in different states. So we're physically, we're about a 2 hour flight away. So distance has not been something that we've seen as a hurdle that we couldn't get over. And so that's kind of the way that we've been working and obviously we also need to get to Germany. So there's a big international flight as well, along with all of our competitors that we need to navigate as well. So we managing some jet lag along the way, I think.
How early are the two of you planning on heading over?
About a week before we'll be leaving Australia to get there in time for yeah to hit the ground running basically on the Monday before the competition in Munich.
That's yeah, not even a full week. That's a busy, busy week. And isn't I'm going off my plans here, but May 1st, the first day of the competition, it's a holiday, I believe, in the country. So just to add to things on that one, like that day, there's just so many things that are going all on at once that I don't know how you're doing it. There is, as of yesterday, when I last checked the tickets, you've sold 329. I don't know if it's changed in the last 24 hours, with just 11 spots remaining, which I still think will go probably to someone in Germany. Um, what was it once all the tickets started being sold, and we got close to the 340 number, this full sellout? Were you able to relax a little bit?
Um, Honestly, I think the initial launch on the 3rd of January, the hype and the tickets that were sold on that very first 24 hours, 48 hours, that kind of made us go, okay, this is happening. This is real. So since then, like we would love, love, love for it to be a sellout event. So we do hope that the last few tickets go. But in saying that, if they don't, that's totally fine as well, because we're thrilled with the amount of tickets we've sold. We're thrilled with the take up we've had from the community and the excitement we've had. We've also had a few people message us regretfully declining that they're not able to physically go, which is also really good for us to hear because it means that, okay, they can't come, but they wish they could. That's nice. Like maybe the next one, who knows? But yeah, so no, it's like early Jan for us. That was okay, this is real. This is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That first big bulk of ticket sales, because yeah, we would have spoken before that even happened. And what what was it like actually just seeing the numbers roll in at that speed at from all over the world?
Uh, it was it was so cool. So it was quite late at night for us here in Australia, but we were quite conscious that we wanted to make a ticket release that was going to mean that most people, it's hard to pick a time when you're dealing with an international ticket sale. But yeah, late at night for us, and it was just it was amazing to see all the tickets roll in, and it was within seconds people were jumping on. We were amazed at how quickly people were able to put through their ticket requests. And yeah, I think that was a moment that really for us felt that like we knew what we wanted to create. We knew what the dream was. And you really don't know if it's going to resonate with other people. And that was the moment that I think we were like, I think this is gonna be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we went to bed at like 3 a.m. that night
Yes.
because we just sat there and just watched the tickets come in. And then we were like, it got to maybe like midnight, 1 o'clock, and we're like, oh, now we have to put all the names on our website. That was always the
Yeah.
intention. But we were like, oh, now we have to. So we stayed up till about 3 a.m. just like writing down all the names, putting them all on the website, and that's all manual entry too. So and every ticket that's sold between then and now, that's all manual entry, manual update. So um, yeah, so we were up half the night just making sure that everyone could see their name on the website. Yeah.
Which I think was a nice added touch on there, how quickly it was updated. We've seen that with other events and such as well, but it does bring that little bit more personal aspect to it. There's some national competitions that do the same thing in advance of their national competitions, which I do like to see. Yeah, there are speaking of the ticket sales and kind of how global it went, there's 38 countries currently that are represented, someone from every continent minus Antarctica. Germany is by far the most represented, which I think we all knew that was going to be the case. Then the US, which also not surprised, but a little bit surprising because they have to fly across the ocean. And then there's a drop in numbers after that, but 13 countries still have double digit representation. Uh, are there any countries you're surprised to see represented so well?
No, we're thrilled to see such strong representation from the European continent, which we did expect holding it in Europe. And we're also thrilled to see like such strong participation from North America as well. And like as you mentioned, they're the two like strongest, I guess, continents represented. We would like to see probably more representation from the Asian continent at future events. But yeah, that's probably like again, we're stoked with the amount of tickets we had and the time frame to people to book it in. Like maybe with more time, we might have seen that too. So we'll keep that in mind for future.
Yeah, yeah, I thought there would have been a few more, maybe from especially Africa. I was surprised with all the African participants are from South Africa, which is as far as you can get from from the location through the continent. I thought we would have seen like Egypt or Morocco or someone from in there from the northern part of it. But are there any? You kind of mentioned already, Mel, where maybe the Asian countries from Asia a bit more represented. But did you think there's be other countries, maybe even in Europe, that would be a bit more represented? Represented.
No,
No,
I
I
don't
think
think.
yeah, I think we were quite yeah, I think that the countries and the spread has probably been about what we anticipated for choosing Germany as a location. Um, I think, a lot of our decisions have always been very participant focused. So, I mean, the fact that, we're not running this event in Australia, for example, we were very conscious people we probably wouldn't get a lot of country representation, particularly for an inaugural event where people really are, taking a chance on us. So we're really conscious of that. But yeah, so it's probably about what we expected.
Yeah. And I think like, because very conscious as well that the weekend that we're holding this is the same weekend as the Austria national champs. So like, even though Austria is literally right there, we obviously don't have a lot of participation from Austria, and perfectly understandable because they've got their nationals on that weekend. But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, which is fair because that's the first thing I checked, or one of the first things I checked. Once the date came out, I wanted to see if it matched up with any of the nationals. And I don't think Austria was even announced yet at that, but you have to pick your date, obviously,
Yeah.
far enough
So
in advance.
we had the date picked and the venue kind of booked but not contracted, so it wasn't announced yet. And it was during that period that Austria announced their nationals, and I was like, oh, because when we picked the dates, there wasn't anything clashing, and then unfortunately, by the time it was official, there was a clash. But we just kind of thought, look, it's somewhat inevitable. There's only 52 weekends in the year, and there's a lot of competition, so yeah, we just had to ride with it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy that the Canadian Nationals ended up being moved to the end of May because usually we're the first weekend in May. So that worked out well for the Canadians. There's not a lot of Canadians going, but it worked out well for the Canadians. Really, it worked out well for me. That's fun. Because all the other Canadian, two of them are from the States, one's from in France, and I don't know who the fifth individual is, but I may be the only one actually from Canada living in Canada. Who knows? I want to move on to your social media presence because I think it's worth pointing out. Your Instagram's been very active throughout this entire process. It's sharing the training that people are doing. Your rollouts of information have been very strategically done and informative, which has been great. Also helps me do the stuff on here as well. So thanks for that. What kind of training trends have you noticed? Because you see everything that you're tagged in. Yeah, has anything stood out to you?
This is Mel, because Mel's the little
Okay.
eyes and voice behind Instagram.
So training trends, definitely everyone has jumped on board with the unbox, the mystery challenge four. Seen a lot of people training for that one, and seeing like a phenomenal amount of Gibsons as well. And I think because they haven't really entered in a prominent kind of competition before, so that's been like, yeah, I feel like every second post I'm tagging Gibson's puzzles because as I repost them, I'll tag the brands in as well. So seeing a huge take up on the Gibsons, and the other one I've seen a lot of. That's kind of it. There's been like a pretty even spread around the image challenges, but definitely the unboxed. I've seen probably that's been the most popular in regards to training. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to apologize now because I'm speaking with you. You do not need to repost every single one that I'm doing because it's an excessive amount that I am posting on here. So please do not feel obligated to do that. I'm doing like 4 or 5 puzzles, 6 puzzles a day at the moment, and it's just my own record of it. But if there's a good one, you can repost those. Is there anything that's kind of been surprising to you as people are posting, even if it's the amount that people are posting, excluding me?
Um, Not really. So by design, we Lou and I came up with these challenges to encourage people to train a little bit differently and to be challenged on specific things. So like the way that I'm so glad that we are being tagged in as many training posts as we are, because it's really, really good for us to see and then reshare that. And I think people like it when we reshare their posts too. So that's really nice. But yeah, kind of I'm glad that we've had as much interaction with the training posts and the like sharing on social media. But I'm not surprised that people are focusing on the training as much as they are in very specific narrow fields, because that's exactly what we intended this competition to be. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Lou.
I was just going to say, and I think that's what day two of the competition really represents, where on day one, we've got, a standardized brand with image challenges that are kind of speaking to a lot of the themes that have come up as a result of conversations and participation at other competitions. People sort of have an intuitive idea of puzzles that have featuring a color gradient or pattern repetition and busy. And so we know that those styles of puzzles have been trained quite intensively for a lot of other competitions. But day two is really something that was kind of just a little bit of left field. And so the whole kind of comprehensive approach to being like very holistically, globally looking for someone who is a really versatile puzzler is kind of what we were hoping, and that's what we were really going for. So to see the breadth of training and people leaning into that and realizing that to come out of this competition as a champion puzzler, you have to have covered all bases. And so it's been so really nice to see people sharing that with us. And of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg of all the training that's going on in people's private homes that's not being shared. So it's really exciting for us as organizers and yeah, and really designers of a new competition.
Yeah, I've noticed the some of the posts. I've been watching all the stuff that's being reposted from your account, and it's interesting as we get closer to the day, the amount of I'm going to say the top puzzlers where you could argue they might be the ones to win. There's 10 to 20 names that on any day could do that. Their posts have gotten quieter as we are getting closer, which I think people are starting to take things a bit more secretive in these final few stages. But, and without forgetting about the puzzle images themselves. I do want to know what they are. You're not going to tell me, but fine. Um, do you think, based on just what you've seen through the training, do you think any of the challenges are being underestimated, as in people think it's going to be too easy, or the opposite side? Maybe they're overtraining because they think it's going to be so much harder than what it might be.
Yeah. So without speaking to, I guess, like we won't speak to the image at all, but like probably the one that hasn't had as much social media attention in regards to training would be maybe the panorama. And like it does have a higher piece count. There is 136 extra pieces that you have to put together. And there's a 15-minute longer allocation for that round. So it's in 90 minutes and it's 636 pieces. So I think that might be, I mean, I think for us, that's the challenge that we might expect to see. Like, let me think about how to phrase this.
I think while you're having my thoughts from that is puzzle piece count. The more pieces you have, the time increases exponentially. So if I have a 100-piece puzzle and a 200-piece puzzle, it's not double the time to do a 200-piece puzzle. It's going to be time and a half. Not time and a half. It could be. It's just more. It's just not double, whatever that might be, because there's so many more pieces you need to sort through and spacing and everything that goes along with that. So some people might be looking at this at it's 136 pieces. I can do that no problem. That's an extra 5 minutes. No, because if I do a 500
Yeah.
piece puzzle in 40 minutes, I am not doing a 1,000-piece puzzle in 80 minutes. I think that's where people might be underestimating how long it might take that panoramic.
I've had people kind of talk about the panorama like, it's fine. And I'm like, it's 636 pieces. Not, I thought it was a 500. So no, it's 636 pieces. So I think like, yeah, I think that one might be underestimated a little bit. Just like you said, the higher piece count, 136 doesn't sound like a lot, but in the scheme of a puzzle that's in addition to 500, it is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other aspect of it is that it's just a format that we're unfamiliar with being in competition. So every time we introduce something new to speed puzzling, there's a lot for people to explore, not only just within their own minds, but yeah, just it's an unknown. You can't gauge yourself based on prior results with the other competitors. So I think it feels like a really fresh challenge and being the last challenge, I think it will keep people on their toes right up until the end of competition because no one really knows. We don't even know, and we're anticipating that it'll be a different, maybe different rankings than what we've seen. But I think that's one of the things that makes it really, really exciting. It's like a new frontier in speed puzzling. So it's something I'm really looking forward to seeing.
It's very hard to measure. And you mentioned that like you don't really know how that's going to affect the results in that final round, the final challenge. Even to the extent that I've done a panoramic, I put it into my speed puzzling, great, and they have the new features where it predicts this is how long it should take you. Not for the panoramics, it doesn't, because I've not done any 636 piece puzzles, so it doesn't have any information. Even that can't help me predict am I on track or not. So it's and I spoke with the creators. They had an episode on here as well. The creators of My Speed Puzzling, who credit you amongst others as kind of reshaping what their platform is like as well. So you've had that influence too because of this event. Speaking of influencing aspects, keeping with your social media, you recently announced another challenge that is it's a marketing approach, which I'm a big fan of, who's someone who does stuff with marketing. Uh, but the Creator Challenge, from what I gather, it's not just the lead up to the event. It's trying to showcase the event as it happens, as well as kind of recapping it after. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So, what types of things, if someone's interested in this creator challenge, and there's awards that you've done with this as well, which are fun. And for more information, go and look at um, the Instagram page for this. But what types of things would you want to see, or are you looking to see, or love to see, or whatever from someone trying to do well in this?
We just want to see elements of speed puzzling, of competitive puzzling events, especially the World Series, given that that's our event coming up. And we just want to see, I guess, from many, many different perspectives, their take on the event, the way they're preparing for it, maybe their travel, they're reuniting with friends and community at the puzzling world, and then and the competition itself. And then maybe like post event, there's also a week afterwards where they can still share their experiences or highlights or anything like that that they would like to. So there's nothing really specific that we're looking for. We just wanted to really engage the community and harness their literally their creativity in the social media space, and reward that, because obviously it's kind of a mutually beneficial arrangement where it works for us. We're incredibly busy. We're trying to be really active on socials, but I imagine the closer we get to the event, the more that will take a bit of a back seat because it's harder for us to do that. So by kind of engaging the community to say, hey, let's all do this together, it's just going to give us a broader scope of content, as well as content where Lou and I may not be able to physically be doing it ourselves.
And another aspect of that really is that Mel and I are really motivated to just respond to the participants. Like the whole design of our competition is really to give the puzzlers an event that they want. So the more that we get that feedback from the community, the more we can shape future competitions. So that's also a really wonderful source of information for us to understand what hits with, what resonates with participants, what resonates with spectators, so that we can be really responsive to that for designing future competitions.
The beautiful thing about the Creative Challenge is that you don't have to be attending the event to participate either. So while it's definitely kind of maybe easier if you are attending to come up with that creative content. But even if you're not, you can still make posts around speed puzzling or around the event and tag us, and it still counts. So yeah, it's kind of a broader puzzling community challenge as well.
which I do like. And yeah, so this episode will go out shortly before the event starts. So if someone's watching this who cannot be at the in Munich for it, there's still ways to help promote this event, which I think is a great idea. Just very quickly on this topic, how do people enter? How many entries are allowed?
So there's no limit to how many entries are allowed. Simply create a video or reel on Instagram or TikTok, tag Speed Puzzle. So on Instagram, it's at Speed Puzzle. On TikTok, it's at Speed Puzzle World Series. We will repost your reel, and then if it's on Instagram, it will go into I've created a little highlight called Creator Challenge, so it'll be added to that. If you've tagged us in something that it hasn't appeared in that little highlight, just let us know, because that's probably what we'll go back to when we reflect on I don't know, awarding the prizes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So just get creative, tag us, and we'll repost to do our little bit in making sure it's seen. And yeah.
And the prizes, I mentioned go and look at the Instagram page, but again, very quickly, the prizes. How did you come up with this concept?
So we wanted to give something tangible as well as something kind of meaningful. So first place, you're officially a founding creator of the World Series. So what this title means is that your reels will feature on our social medias and our webpage, which means that we'll be promoting your account as well as your reel. You will get a founding creator title for future competitions that you participate in at the World Series on your competitor player card, and early ticket releases for future events as well. So you'll get first chance to get tickets. So that's what the founding creator status means. If we do this in future years, you will get a creator status, but this year is the only year that you can get a founding creator status, given that it's the inaugural event. And then you'll get an exclusive Speed Puzzle World Series shirt that will be mailed out to the winners once they're announced in May. So yeah, first place also gets a solo ticket to our next event. Second place gets 50% off a solo ticket. So there's some really cool prizes there to be won.
With as you've kind of re-highlighted it, prizes do relate to future tickets, so I can't not ask. And future collectible trading cards. Are we to assume that there's potential plans in place to start planning a second World Series?
That's a good assumption. Yes.
Okay, I'll leave it there for now.
We don't want
Let's
to count our chickens, but yeah, look, we're really happy with how the community's taken this up. So yeah, we'd be crazy not to be thinking about future iterations.
it would be a shock if it was a one and done scenario.
Yeah.
But the event hasn't taken place yet. I'm sure it will go fine. But let's talk about the event itself then. What challenge from your perspective, because you're neither of you are competing in this, so you are spectators, I guess, once this kind of kicks off, as well as all the other stuff you have to do behind the scenes. I get that. But what challenges are you most looking forward to watching?
Um, my, I think day one where we've got the spectrum of different image styles, and just the excitement of the first competition just kicking off, that is definitely going to be, from a sort of, yeah, an emotional point of view, the most exciting for me. I won't go too much into detail about my opinion of images, and I think that's really important to Mel and I to maintain integrity of competition. But yeah, I am willing to say just on that sort of like opening day and just watching the excitement of people experiencing this sequential, this series of puzzling, this literal series, and and having a variety of images. That's going to be something that I think will just make me feel really proud as a founder or co-founder of this event.
What about you, Mel?
Um, I don't think it's day one for me. I think I'm going to be a nervous
Oh,
wreck.
see what I mean? We're complementary. We cover all bases.
Yeah, we're very complimentary. I'm going to be a nervous wreck in challenge one. So I think probably challenge, I don't know, it'll be day two. Yeah, probably the unboxing one, like the mystery challenge. That's the one I'm most looking forward to because it we will have had three challenges go successfully, so I'll be more relaxed. And then I don't know, I'm just looking forward to seeing people discover the images they build it. So that's one if I'm gonna watch, like actually stop what I'm doing and watch anything, it might be that one.
So that kind of brings me to the second thing is what will you two be doing while these rounds are taking place?
A lot.
So
Yeah.
the, the role of an event planner obviously doesn't stop. And while everyone's puzzling, that's when we still need to be coordinating with our timekeepers, with our AV team, with our live streaming crew, making sure, because then like we have the marketplace, which will be set up. So then once the puzzle is revealed in the round, that's when it becomes on sale in the marketplace too. So we'll probably be coordinating with the marketplace to make sure that they've got all the right puzzles out on stock. Overseeing timekeeping, as I mentioned, all the staff, and then the leaderboard too. So we have an AV team and we have a live streaming crew, but as far as the timekeeping and the leaderboards and the scoreboards, that's all done internally by Lou and I. So that's something that will be kind of making sure runs smoothly and is all yeah. So there's a lot there's a lot to do. I hope we do get to watch some rounds, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I hope you do both of you take the opportunity just to kind of take that deep breath once that first box is opened and just kind of take in everything because that's when it officially is official, where the event has happened. And just to enjoy, just for a few seconds at least, that okay, you did this, and then go back into all the chaotic stuff behind the scenes. But just those few moments, I think both of you have definitely earned that for
Yeah.
sure.
We'll have to be standing on stage, Lou, together and just give each other a hug when we go
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go puzzle, and then just
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it really is not lost on us that by people turning up and sitting down at their table and, commencing commencing that first puzzle, that's really, yeah, a vote of confidence in the entire event and the whole idea and support for us as founders. So it's going to be a really great moment.
It's going to be live streamed as you've mentioned, and you do have commentators for the whole series, the same two all the way through. How did you settle on Fruji and Jim?
It's a no-brainer. They're amazing. They have, Jim has got such a fantastic approach to all the technical side of puzzling, and we both just love that kind of sportiness that he really brings to commentating. It's certainly how we feel about the event, that it really is a genuine sport. And Fruji, of course, is just fantastic. Her perspectives and the two of them, their banter, and obviously they have so much experience already from doing a whole range of other competitions. So yeah, they feel a natural part of the World Series community already.
Yeah, and it's again, it kind of brings the whole theme where you found complementary personalities as well, and different roles. Jim is not necessarily a speed puzzler. He does more of the commentary aspect, while Fruity is obviously quite into speed puzzling. So you're going to get the two different perspectives all the way through. What I'm not concerned about, what I'm curious about, I guess that's a better word, is this is the first time we're going to see the same group of 300 plus puzzlers, 6 rounds back to back to back to back to back to back. What if people are tuning in to watch this on the live streams? What might they kind of expect to hear? Because it's going to be the same people every time.
Yeah, so I think like it'll be the same people, but the puzzles will be like very different. So I think that that's probably something that will feed into their commentary. They could be commenting on people's approaches being different to the previous puzzle, or like maybe different to the way they would usually tackle a puzzle. Or we've actually done competitor surveys, so we've had people submit what their which challenge they're most excited for, as well as the one they're most nervous about. So that gives Jim and Fruji like a lot to work with in that sense too, because they can relay back to that and be like, oh, this is the round that, this is the challenge they were most nervous about, and look how well they're doing, or whatever. Like they've got more information to work with in regards to those challenges. So, but I just think the two of them, they're so energetic and observant that I don't think it will sound repetitive at all. I think they'll just bring a new take onto it, especially with the fresh new challenges at play. That'll keep it very interesting.
And I
Yeah,
think also the fact that there'll be so much comparison from prior rounds when it comes to, say, the leaderboard and the rankings. And there'll be so much sort of anticipation and so many predictions, I think, made about subsequent challenges based off information that's already been, I suppose, become apparent from the field as they've already competed in prior rounds. So I think, again, that's an entirely new element that we've never seen before. Jim and Fuji won't have commentated on before. And so I think there will be a lot of rich kind of moments and storytelling just in and of itself in that element. So yeah, I think there'll be a lot of things they can really dive quite deep into.
now obviously I'll be competing, so I'll be able to listen to the live streams. Um, I'm curious if there actually will be someone who will have like YouTube playing while they're doing the puzzle so they can listen. I wouldn't, but uh, there must be someone that will. What
Oh, nerve-wracking.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I would be so impressed with whoever does that. If someone does that, please let us know. That's a talent.
it would, now that I've said it, it would be if you think of someone who may win a particular round, doesn't matter which round, but a name will come to someone's mind who's watching this. And it would be really because there will be a delay, in a slight delay between it being on there. If one of the top people were listening to the commentary on the live stream and were able to finish and point directly at the commentary people and just knowing, you'd have to be really confident that you were
Oh
done
yeah.
first. But it would. So yeah, if you know who you are, the people that might be able to do that, that would be that would be the highlight really, of the whole thing if they were doing that. But I digress. I will not do that. Uh, it would be embarrassing because I'm not finishing the top anything. But what, from a competitor point of view, what do you hope, or what can we expect the atmosphere to be like when we walk into that room? Mel, you've been, and I think Lou, sorry, I've forgotten already. Lou, have you been to the World Championships?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. So you
I'm
both
I'm
walk,
a middle of the pack competitor though, so I fly under the radar.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but you've both walked into that dome, at a World Championship event for the first time, and there's a feeling that went with it, regardless of however anyone feels about the dome itself and everything else. But there is that sense of, okay, this is real. What are you hoping the competitors feel when they walk into this room in Germany?
I hope they feel like superstars. That's what I want them to feel that they're coming to one of the most exciting competitions that will allow them the opportunity to show the versatility of their training. And I hope yeah, I think they'll feel incredibly excited. The venue is really impressive. We are going to do everything that we can to make it feel really, really special from the point of view of the competitor. And yeah, I think there'll be such a buzz. The atmosphere will just be really, really incredible. And yeah, Mel, what are you thinking?
You've nailed it, Lou. Like superstars is the right word. And I just think like we're like Lou said, we're going to do our best to make sure that the energy in the room is lively and energetic. But and just we want people to come in. We'd love there for a bit of a wow factor, um, but also kind of like I don't know. We want it to. We know it's a sport. We're trying to like portray that it is, and we want these people like we want every competitor feel like they're part of it and they're the reason for it. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, superstars is the right word.
Yeah, my mindset from the competitor point of view, it's the world championships. That's more it feels like more of a party type of celebration type of thing. My mindset going into this is it's fun, but it's a different perspective going in. This is a very different type of competition where there's a bit more of a serious aspect to it, but in a good way. Like if you've done competitive sports or competitive activities or something in the past, it's fun walking into these events, but there's that extra bit of focus. Regardless if you're going to finish first or 340th, there's a focus that goes with it.
Yeah, I think it's that mindset of that there are not really significant breaks between competitions. So where previously we've been, most of us have been part of competitions where it's either been like a one standalone event or division, or it's a series through elimination rounds. There's usually that sense of, okay, you're puzzling, and then break, and then regroup. Whereas there is an endurance to this. So you're right. People will come into the room with this focus, knowing that I have a day of puzzling to get through, and then, get a good night's rest, come back for day two. So work hard, and then I imagine it'll be party hard. So it'll be a real festival atmosphere, particularly afterwards. And I think a sort of a nervous excitement, focused energy throughout the actual competition days.
Yeah, we see a lot of people going out in Spain between the days of the events. I don't think that's going to be the case this time between Friday and Saturday, which makes a lot of sense. By the time this goes up, your seating arrangements will be out. You hinted in your question and answer video that they are kind of clustered for logistical reasons. I have a few questions that I'm going to ask at the end, but this one was sent to me a few days ago, soon after actually this came out, because people knew I was doing the update videos. Um, we're sitting with the same person each round. The decision, do, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it. Will the person beside me be of a similar ability, or is it there, or is there a different logistical thing that you've kind of planned?
So we've loosely based the seating allocations based on like what we know about the puzzles. So um, if it's a previous competition time, so yes, the idea is that you will be sitting with other puzzles at a similar skill level to yourself. However, there's only so much information that Lou and I have access to, and with the challenges being so diverse, that might not always be the case. So what we don't want to what we didn't want to portray is that your table number is a reflection of your ranking or like your anticipated or predicted ranking. That's not the case at all. It's purely just hey, from what we could gather, you're probably in this ballpark, so you're going to be sitting in that ballpark. And then yeah, that's kind of. But there's, like I said in our Q&A video, we don't have a fancy algorithm. It's just Lou and I out here trying to kind of place everyone where we think they might be around, but like by all means, it's not a it's nothing official, and it's certainly not a ranking. So
So we're really conscious that it's already a very tight field, and that with 340 tables, there might, even within sort of like the first 100, 200, there might be only a few minutes in it, and that might separate these
yeah,
individual competitors. So a a ranking system, even if it was sort of, algorithm driven based on really comprehensive past data, there's still so much room for error when it comes to such a diversity of puzzles that people are going to be doing. So, yeah, we felt that a loose grouping would probably be the sort of the better way to go about it. But at the same time, there's probably a lot of people who are coming who might be that sort of dark horse in the room. And so it's very possible that somebody at the higher number, at a higher number table, a pairing, you've got maybe a slightly slower puzzler and then someone who's just out of sight, amazing next to them. So that's, yeah, that's the nature of the game.
I would love to see a dark horse come and kind of actually to win the whole thing, not because the names that we know faltered, but just because it's this person has just come out of nowhere and did really, really well. By the time, again, this goes up, I will have a video out. I have gone through, probably similar to what you had to do. I went through everyone that's participated, looked back at previous international events, and I think there was like 40 people or something I couldn't find any information about on an international level, at least. And it's who knows if that one of those 40 kind of just come out and surprise everybody. But no, I'm glad the people at the tables are of similar abilities. I can sleep well for the next week and a half before this comes out that I will not be beside Veronica or Victor or Christian or Caddy or Emma or Rachel or Christian or all the other names that we know.
Yeah.
I thought it might, yeah, I can't, if I'm sitting beside Veronica, I might leave. That would be, I'll still be flipping while she's done.
you're fangirling next to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, yeah, that'll be all the I'll just be filming. I'll be up front.
Yeah,
I'll do the
you'll have
puzzles
no
later at
chance of
home.
finishing the puzzle.
Yeah. And then just to kind of finish off the seating aspect, other questions that did come through. I did mention this in my most recent preview video that came out. Um, because we're in the same spots all the time, to the best of your knowledge, ability, from a puzzler's point of view, this has been a concern. Are the lighting conditions relatively the same, or identical would be great, but relatively the same regardless of where you are sitting?
Yeah, so a fair competition is what we've really strived to create here by the nature of design. And this includes the competition environment. So we can confirm that there will be adequate lighting at every single table. And and same with you know, in regards to the environment. So by having the spectators elevated upstairs means that the tables on the edges of the competition zone aren't up against a crowd, for example. So we've really done our best to try and create a really, really fair and equal to the best of our ability environment for every table. Yeah. So we will ensure that nobody is disadvantaged on that competition floor. We will do everything in our power to ensure that that's the case.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
based on how everything else is run, I'm not surprised at that at any point. I'm sure that because like yourself, both of you are speed puzzlers, you would understand that's a factor that will come in that people would be thinking of.
Yeah, and it is something that's very important to us. And like, it's sort of like our foundational principles is really thinking about the competitor's experience when it comes to an equal kind of playing field. So that's just a kind of theme of how we think about all elements of the competition, and certainly, finding a venue that was really high on our priority list to make sure that, lighting is one of the first things that we would assess. But yeah, it pretty much goes for all elements of the competition.
Yeah, that'll be a big relief to quite a few people with it. The trophies have been revealed on your Instagram page. Just very briefly, is there anything you want to mention about these, the designs, kind of how you came up with these?
We worked with a custom design trophy maker in Latvia, actually. So we've
Is
designed them
anything
a
done
lot.
in Australia?
There's a
Not
few
many
banners
things.
coming from Australia. There's quite a few things coming from Australia.
Yeah, it is definitely an international event. So yeah, the trophies have come from Latvia. We worked with a team over there to help the design. So there was a lot of collaboration because we really wanted them to be unique and also reflective of our Speed Puzzle World Series logo. So the gold piece is really prominent on every trophy. And we're stoked with how they turned out. We haven't seen them in person yet, obviously, because they've gone from Latvia to Germany. So we're very excited to see them in person ourselves. So yeah.
Excellent. And just on behalf of all the eventual winners, thank you for making it a size that can fit in the suitcase. That will be appreciated by whoever wins for sure. And then we also have the trading cards. Do you have a total, however much you can reveal on this, because I know you are keeping some of this stuff because you want to people's reaction when we first get there. Do you have a total number of cards that you can mention or approximation?
Approximately 230 cards will be in rotation, approximately. Yeah.
That is nowhere near what my guess was going to be. That's very impressive. That is much higher.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I it's just because I speak with quite a few puzzle people and stuff, and taking that photo, having that photo printed on something that a lot of people are going to see. There's a lot of um, quieter people in the puzzle community, so seeing that many people, that's a good response. Um,
Yeah.
I'm doing the calculations on how much that would cost in my head now because okay. Um, Great. Without specifying any names or images, were there any like strong reactions to some of the pictures that came through, or anything that kind of stands out in your mind?
Uh,
I'd say it's such a variety of images. I'm just stoked that so many people decided to do it, and um, there were a few early adopters, so there were a few people who kind of really sent it in early, but then um, there were definitely waves, particularly towards the end, where I imagine, well, we got the sense that there was probably a lot of discussion amongst the community, sort of deciding what type of image people were going to submit, and then so we did kind of get that last wave of people flooding in. So, but yeah, we're really stoked with how many people have decided to do this, and yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. I'm excited about that whole element.
yeah.
Yeah, I asked people on my Instagram what my pose should be, and I don't know if either of you have seen it, but there was a picture of me from the World Championships sitting outside in the rain that has been kind of shared around during that like hail rainstorm of
Yeah.
that day. I was with the thing is that photo is cropped. There's a bunch of other Canadians sitting there with me as well, but it just focuses in on me. So people said to recreate that, but obviously it was in the middle of winter in Canada. We're not having a lot of rain. Um, and with the fact that the background was going to be taken out, it would have been a very weird pose to have. Just yeah. So um, I didn't go with that, as you may already know. But yeah, that's not what mine is at all.
What
Um,
I think I love about it is that it's a little bit of a sort of snapshot of the puzzling community at this point in
yeah.
time, because there's such a variety of images and yeah, different settings that people have taken them in. So it's really lovely.
And people that are there, if they're not participating, so they're just there as a spectator, are they able to purchase cards?
Yep. Yep. Open to anyone. So they'll be available at the marketplace, and yeah, anyone can purchase.
Yeah, first of all, I do have some questions that people submitted through my Instagram page. I'm not going to ask them all because they don't all apply, but There was 30 or 40 questions. Again, I'm not going to go through them all, but people have questions. Uh, One that came through a few times was what's the hardest thing about organizing events, a big new event like this?
Um, so we've organised huge events within Australia. The hardest part is the international aspect. So everything kind of happens overnight for us. We wake up in the morning and the inbox is full, and then we spend all day kind of replying to things, and we go to bed, and then the next morning it's the same thing. So, in addition to that, in order to like just being real with you, in order to run an event in Germany, we've had to start a European company, set up an entity over there, which is called Speedpuzzle Limited. So, which we've done in Ireland. So now we have Australian directors with a company in Ireland running an event in Germany. And that's quite complex. We're now paying tax in three different countries for three different reasons. We're dealing with, like, Lou has been dealing with logistics, customs, importing. And again, it's hard to do when you're an Australian director for an Irish company running an event in Germany. So that, and we've done that for a reason. We don't regret it all the way we've structured it, because it's future proofing for the World Series. But it's just been incredibly complex. And that's where a lot of the lessons have been learned for us. So the event itself has actually been not easy, but like that's the part we kind of set out to do, but it came with a lot of admin that we maybe didn't foresee and forecast. That's been extremely time consuming, and financially consuming as well. So that's just been probably the biggest lessons learned there, and the hardest part about the last 6 months of our journey. And Lou, what?
Yeah, I've not touched on. Yeah, I second all of those things. Huge amount of knowledge that we've learned in creating this entire event. But yeah, the logistics, that's sort of my area predominantly with dealing with different brands, and that's, based off a lot of things that I've been able to figure out in Australia. And I'm very used to dealing with a range of different companies based on my experience in AJPA. And yeah, it's just the next level of logistics management. But we've got some amazing brands, and I've been, really grateful to the way that we've communicated with the brands who are supporting us. And yeah, it's not a sponsorship relationship, but it is, a mutually beneficial, partnership that I think hopefully will continue to grow. And yeah, it's been really a challenge, but a challenge that I've been willing to take on. And yeah, I have grown a lot as a result.
Um, Somebody asked, will the trading cards be available to people who are not attending at all?
So at the moment, we haven't set up any post-event shipping or pre-event shipping at this stage. So what we're planning to do is any marketplace stock that we have arranged will be brought to Munich and sold on site. So if they're wanting to secure puzzles or trading cards and they're not attending, I would highly recommend if they can arrange for someone to collect on their behalf and bring back for them. Trading cards obviously being really easy to pack, as opposed to puzzles. But yeah, if they can go on and purchase them themselves and just nominate someone else to collect on their behalf at the marketplace, and then they can bring them back or post to them on their behalf as well. So that's something that Lou and I have not really had the capacity to do yet, as of yet, but it's also something that we want to encourage people to purchase on site, and we want the stock to be available to those who are traveling and attending the event, first and foremost. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Purchase online and arrange for someone else to collect on your behalf. That's the best way if you're not attending.
Yeah, the amount of stuff that I need to be bringing back, I have to do a whole shipping. Yeah. Um,
And of course,
uh,
we're also dealing with sort of unknown. So particularly when we launched the concept of the trading cards, again, we weren't sure how many people were going to take up the opportunity. We didn't know if they were going to be popular with everybody. So we've had to make our best kind of guess estimates, particularly for the first event, based on, something conservative, but also making sure that we would have enough available for people on site. But yeah, we didn't go overboard and think, oh, well, we'll pre-plan for post-event shipping and things like that. So yeah, but there'll be aspects that we think about for future events for sure.
Yeah, which is fair, especially with the trading cards. You're not supposed to have every trading card ever. That's not how trading cards work. It's you're supposed to trade them and build it up. Um, I'm just some of these questions are for after this is all done. Oh, obviously the most popular question is where's next year's going to be. I'm not going to ask that, but just so you know, there was a lot of people that want to know where the next one is and when, as they want to start planning things. So that's good. And these are a lot of these are from people that are not attending this year. So I think some people are waiting for the first one to be done and scheduling and stuff as well. But that's positive, I guess, for the two of you. Other things that came up were, do you plan on expanding to pairs and teams in the future? Again, this is for later on, but I think Mel, you mentioned this in our chat already, the first time where things are open to possibilities, seeing how this goes with it. Uh, One thing that did come up is what is something, do you have any advice for the competitors?
My advice would probably be like come to Munich with an open mind and a bit of a consideration that this is an inaugural event. So I guess come with an expectation that like the puzzles could be anything. The environment will be what they make it to be as well. Like we will do our part, but like they can do their bit in bringing that like that fun, energetic, and positive vibe to the event. And yeah, like I guess as well, something else that I would probably like to note is that at the event, Lou and I will be fairly like mentally very busy. So after the event, every participant will receive a post-event survey to have their opportunity to tell us what they thought. Because like Lou said, we're doing this event for the competitors, and so we definitely want to keep building this event in future years based on their feedback to make sure that we keep delivering to the standards that they expect. So every participant will receive a post-event survey. At the event is not necessarily the right time to bring their feedback to us, but they will get an opportunity to share their thoughts post-event. So that's probably something that I would like to say in advance. Just maybe give us some space at the event, but you will have an opportunity to share your thoughts with us. We will invite your thoughts and opinions. So yeah, when we have the capacity to actually take them on. So yeah, that's probably just my 2 cents on that.
That is fair, very fair. Yeah, there's other questions on here, but I'm just gonna kind of skip to the end here because I've taken up way too much of your time already. Uh, just kind of, I usually end my puzzled and chatty episodes with quick fire questions. This is not a puzzled and chatty, but I'm still going to do some very quick predictions from your point of view as the host. I want to make it clear this is not based on what your knowledge of the images are, based on what you've seen through the training, what you know about just people in general. And you can say no comment if you choose to say no comment as we go through this. We'll alternate back and forth. We'll start with Lou for the first question and then go to Mel. Lou, what do you think the fastest average, what challenge will have the fastest average time?
I'm not gonna, yeah, no comment.
Mel?
I'm going to base my answer on the competitor survey results, which is the one that everyone feels most confident for. There was an overwhelming response to the first challenge, the gradient. So, based on everyone else's thoughts on that, I think that one might have the fastest average.
I will laugh very hard if it's like a all black and white gradient all the way through. It would be hilarious. Um, the starting with Mel for this one. What do you think this is an easier one? The slowest challenge will be in terms of average time.
I would just say panorama, higher piece count.
Yeah, I agree. Panorama. But probably, yeah, but excluding that, then I think the next would be the mystery unboxed.
Do you think most people will are likely to finish all six puzzles?
Yes, I think they will. The vast majority. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think that for us, this event is as much for the participants as it is for spectators. So we are hopeful that most do finish within the time frame because we know it's not as always fun watching if there's many people who don't.
Yeah, and you don't want to count all the pieces at the end because that would take a while. Uh,
Make our turnarounds, yeah, very tight.
Yeah.
uh, which country, not participant or anything else, but which country do you think will have the strongest overall showing? It's an international event. Which country do you think is going to shine?
No comments.
Also, no comment.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Private
Being
internal
impartial.
thought. Integrity of competition. Yeah.
That is
No
fair.
favoritism.
The last question then. Your predictions for what do you think the overall cumulative winning time will be?
Actually, this is a challenge we're going to put to all of everyone on social media. So, in addition to our creator challenge, we've got a post ready to hit send on where we want to hear your times, and there will be prizes to be won. Some puzzles up for grabs in Munich if you guess the closest time to the winners accumulative. So, Lou and I won't guess ourselves, but yeah, we're curious to see what everyone else thinks.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going
And that
to.
challenge will probably be live by the time this video comes out. So, there's still time to guess though. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it will be out. Yeah, so based on that answer, I don't want you to answer that because I don't want to influence what people may be guessing on here. I have already asked that on my Instagram thing, and there was quite a few that came. It's a big range of what people said. Some were in like 6 or 7 hours. Like that's not going to be the winning time. It's going to be less than that. I'm confident that it's less than 6 hours for it, but there's a lot around a very specific range, which I'm not going to do. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'll guess, but I'll be wrong. That's most of it. Is there anything just kind of before we wrap this all up? Are there any final reminders that you either want the competitors to know, the spectators to know, the people watching on live streams to know? Any last little bits before this all kicks off?
I think I'll just kind of replug our YouTube as the place to go to watch the live stream. So that Speedpuzzle World Series on YouTube. Tune in. We will be streaming all six events and the awards ceremony as well, of course. So definitely tune in. And yeah, Lou, is there anything else you wanted to plug?
Yeah, just a reminding of the Instagram as well. So, yeah, follow us on there. We will have some content uploaded, of course, during the event, and then obviously that creator challenge. There'll be some activity, I imagine, a flurry of activity. So those across those two channels, you should be able to feel it part of the action, even if you're not able to attend.
Yeah. And probably just the other thing for the participants. So table allocations will go live Friday, the 24th of April. The link is already on our website under the competitors. It is not live, but as of the 24th, that will be a live link where you can click on it to check your table allocations. So we will also send out an email to everyone competing so that they know when that's gone live as well. But yeah, just keep your eye on that to see where you're sitting.
Yep. This will probably go out after that. So if you haven't found it, look harder. It's definitely on there. For it. So it is. You have a seat. It's on the website. Or just ask somebody else that's on there. But Oh yeah, and yeah, just before we end, I just want to say I want to wish you both, the two of you, luck with this, with the World Series. Months and months of preparation and I'm sure stress, but also excitement is all culminating in this major international event that's taking place. That's definitely going to alter kind of what speed puzzling was. It's going to impact, I think, future competitions and how people look at the world of speed puzzling. What stood out for me is, and you kind of already mentioned it earlier, is it's not just the organization event, how involved the two of you are with this, but how involved you are with the competitors as well through the social media, through sharing information, the YouTube channel, all this other stuff, which you don't see a lot from people organizing these types of events. It's made it more personal, I think. And from an international point of view, that's really tough to do. So I do want to thank you for that. And I think I speak on behalf of a lot of competitors for it. So yeah, again, all the best to the two of you on May 1st and May 2nd, and whatever surprises you may have in store after that. Thank you both for speaking with me.
Yeah, thank you, Adam, and thanks for your videos covering all of our updates on this event. It's really been great to see, and yeah, thank you, much
Yeah,
appreciated.
it's been really wonderful to have your support. And yeah, and final shout out to all the puzzlers who are going to be with us in Munich. Your support has meant the world to us. So yeah, I get we'll have chills up our spine. So it's yeah, it's got a really amazing moment in speed
Yeah,
puzzling that we're looking forward to.
Great. Yeah, I'm very excited, and I will see both of you in Munich in 2 weeks.
Yes.
yeah, cool.
Fabulous. Bye.
Thank you.